Okay, Shalom. Okay, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Okay, double honors to our apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, our elders of GMS. And salutation, peace, and blessings to the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, people of Negro and Indian, Latino descent. Okay, I'm just um, going into the word, which I covered just a little bit the other day, the coercion. Okay, which the ways of the devil is the name of the video I put up. The ways of the devil is coercion. Um, well, it's scriptural, and it seems to be a spirit that's been um, pretty much revived. It's been here, but it's been revived, um, and it's waxing worse as we're getting closer and closer to the end through means of deception. Okay, and this devil is his main way of having power and able to execute his wickedness is through deception. All right. But just again, let me just start out. Let me just go to the scripture here. Um, and again, I'm just going off to the spirit. It's nothing I planned or anything. But I'm going to Exodus 1. Okay, and starting here. Is it Exodus 1 that I want? Yeah, this is it. And he said unto his people, behold, and this is the same spirit now, which again, Babylon, America, which we're in now, serving captivity it's just spiritually Egypt, Sodom and Egypt. Okay, and the same practices, same gods, damn place on the low is following and practicing. You know, the witchcraft, the ancient Egypt is heavily into witchcraft and black, so what they want to call black magic, things like that. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the children of Israel, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we. And the main thing, what just popped in my mind and the head then is the apostles and elders and the prophets going out into the highways and the byways with this word, with the truth, and it's literally unstoppable. And it's reminding these people, these heathens, that who we really are, and they got to suppress the truth. That's the whole thing. Suppress the truth so these people don't wake up, and so they're in fifth gear, actually heavily, still trying to uh, uh, suppress this word and the truth. Period. You know, and spiritually, this is on a low what they're doing. They're working behind scenes again to further their agenda, which their agenda is totally contrary to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's agenda, who we are representing as men of the Lord, voices of the Lord. It says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and we're not joining unto their enemies. Only ones we're not even joining with our 100% of our own people. Just the elect of our people. That's it. Just the elect, which is a remnant, which is a small fractional number compared to the rest that are here, and especially around the four corners of the world. So again, this devil is he's working he's working undercover, deception, using deception and deceit. And if you can't see this devil what he's doing, then you're just totally asleep, man. You're just totally lost. I mean, you may not be able to explain all of it and put it all together, but if you can't see that this devil is literally working against us here, then you're where you remain in a deep slumber. You know, and let it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. We're not. This is a spiritual warfare that's going on. It's not going to turn physical until actually Yahweh Shai literally crack those skies and come deliver us. When this fearful moment vision happens, because in the eyes of the 2/3, in the eyes of the nation, heathen nations, the children of the men and the children of the wicked, when they see these things happen, that's a fearful sight. And that's a sight they want to stop. They want to prevent it from happening. So we're waiting for the Lord, man. So we're not joining we're not rising up to join hands with these heathens, with any heathens, unless they're Israelites, and more specific, unless they're um um they're they more specific, they have to be Israelites, period. And fight again, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set up them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. So closer we get to the end, man, we're still pushing on. We're still pushing on. But that's not the whole purpose of the video. The purpose of the video is to show you that just ways of this devil, just to bring to light that he's slick. It's just his nature to be slick. What did it say in Genesis? Genesis, that the serpent was most subtle. The serpent. Just the videos help you. Just don't let this devil fool you, man. That's all you men, women. You can't let this devil fool you, and deceive you. He's still the same piece of shit. He's still the whooping stick. He's still the sword. He's still a devil. He's still evil, man. He's still doing the biddings of Satan. This is his nature, and he can't change it. This is what he is. It's just the video is pretty much just an eye opener to keep you on your toes, to keep you aware, to keep your eyes open. Period. Now the serpent now is the so-called white man. It's that same spirit in the serpent. I've done this in a while. Now the serpent, it's probably Amalek's version. Now the serpent, Amalek's version of the actual snake. See, a serpent, a snake. Fleeing serpent, mythological. See, it's the root in this serpent here. Primitive root, Nahash, to practice divination, divine, observer times, learning by experience, diligently observed, practice, fortune telling, take as an omen, to practice divination, to observe the signs or omens. And that's close. That's close. Because that's what the serpent was. It's a piece of shit, a deceiving piece of trash. Okay, but this is the word I'm looking for. It was more subtle, screwed, crafty, sly. Okay, and sensible. It's crafty, screwed, sensible, and prudent. Okay, and even prudent. Smash that real quick. Acting with or showing care and thought for the future. You see, prudent. So that's the gears he's in. That's the mode he's in. He's carrying it out. His thoughts, his action, his desires. He's carrying it out. He's slick. Subtle. You can't be fooled by this piece of shit. So eventually coming in is his ways of showing you that he has your best interest in heart with this economic situation that he's actually fabricating and inventing. This financial crisis that's going on the four corners of the earth. And not just that, hate speech, because right now he's rising up against truth. He's presenting, he's showing you, he's showing the world that truth is his enemy. He's showing you that truth itself is not a part of his agenda. Truth and righteousness and righteous judgment is not part of his agenda. You know. So, where's she at? And here we go here. But the more they afflict them, the more they multiply and grew and grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage and mortar and brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, in which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, it is to be a son, then ye shall kill him. But it be, it's like a damn bug. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared the Most High, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men, children alive. And I mean, the same thing now. You know, this same thing now with them using the Israelite woman. But in this case, the Israelite woman is actually doing the actual bidding of these devils. You know, and I mean that on the most part. You know, and the majority are doing the actual bidding of these devils now. You know, destroying the Israelite man. I mean, if you just want, the more you read this and looking at it and comparing it to now, it's like, damn, wow. Like, wow. You know, those women back then had more, they had more, what's the word am I looking for? They had discipline, self-control, better character. You know, there's another word that escaping me, but you know, here we are in the last days, and it's what you to expect. Okay, it's what you to expect. But again, what they're showing here, they're dealing behind the scenes. And I'm not sure if that, I mentioned it a lot the last couple of days. What's that? Psalms, the 64th chapter. Let me see if it's in Psalms, the 64th chapter. What I'm actually referring to. Prayer for deliverance from our secret enemies. There you go. There you go. Here. Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Okay, so the Lord wasn't physically killed here. It's his you know, his truth, his image. You know what he really looked, what he originally looked like. You know, but he wasn't physically killed here. But again, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So it's the spirit that's here. It's that same spirit that's here, which if you can't see that, Sodom and Egypt, then again, you're just lost, man. Psalm 64, so deliverance from the secret enemies. The secret enemies. Hear my voice, O power, Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrectors of the workers of iniquity. Secret counsel. It's a secret counsel. The same thing as ancient Egypt, which brothers going making videos going in showing you that the correlations between ancient Babylon, the rebellion, the great rise of rebellion in ancient Babylon, into comparing it to now. You know, it's just, this Bible is just connected in all corners, man. You know, it's just connected spiritually. Secret counsel. And the same with Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, you can do the same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the same spirit that was going on. What was going on in the period of Sodom and Gomorrah with Lot? Lot was vexed by this filthy conversation of these foul pieces of trash, man. Vexed by the secret, vexed by the conversations of by the wicked. And it's the same now. We're being vexed by them passing legislation and laws to protect these happy people, these filthy, foul, happy people in Pride months. You know, Pride months when they're literally forcing it down the people's throats. You know, even the children without, you know, really, literally, you know, without no care. You know, forcing it into your the children's lives. That's crazy, man. You know, it's no different. The same thing is going on now. The rise of rebellion, the rise of wickedness, which is going to increase to its maximum. Where there's nothing going to be hidden from this devil. That it's like his mind is going it's going to be literally it's going to be in the world, and you can see the world that we're experiencing now is Esau's mind, but its maximum is we're about to experience it. You know, he's a devil, man. And in order for him to bring his new world order, he has to, he has to let it loose. Like the scripture said, he's going to come like a flood. Council, assembly, council, a familiar conversation, divin circle of familiar friends, assembly, a company, okay? His crew, Esau and the gang, man. Esau and the gang, man. Esau and the heathens, the children of men and the children of the wicked, doing their thing. Because those heathen nations, other heathen nations are with it as well. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Here, look, go on, give me a second. Let me see what this is. Okay. It's part of their this Senate Bill S/1671, Digital Platform Commissions Act of 2023. Haven't even went into this yet, but other brothers have. But this is another example of them shooting in, at the perfect and in secret. And we're the perfect, the elect of the children of Israel. We're that perfect. It says that they may shoot at the secret, shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Okay, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent serve. Both the inward thought of every one of them in their heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So nothing's changed. Hold on a second here. Let me find it. I should have kept it up. I can't remember which one it is. Let me go to Bright. I'm gonna have to go through each one of these. This wasn't it. Eurasian Times. There's a lot of good news websites. I should have more, to be honest with you. But these are some of the main ones that I like to go through and see what's in the news. Up from the ashes, French nuclear attack submarine back in action. And that's not it either. And that's what I do daily, just go through these, along with a few others, And all you see is this devil is working, period. He's working, man. Bill Gates, carcinogen, forever chemicals detected in 50% of U.S. drinking water. That's another way that this devil is shooting at the perfect in secret, is through food, through the water, through the air, you know, your so-called education, your so-called job, through many other ways, man, shooting at the perfect in secret. You just can't ignore nothing in this world now, because it's all just, again, it just sheds light on this devil's his intentions, period. Dutch citizens reject world economic reform agenda as marked roots in government dramatically collapse. Look at this. Police preparing to arrest top BBC star in child sex investigation. They should have been doing all that. But to just show you that he's the devil, that he doesn't, that's the least of his word. Child molestation, child sex trafficking, things like that. Just showing you that this devil ain't right, man. All you do is use your damn common sense and open your eyes, and you'll see it. Okay, that's not that one here. It's like, come on. Prophecy news and end times. They come up with a lot of good stuff as well. This one here, UN summit future will set the stage for the new global order in 2024. And there right now, the UN summit is the UN or they're about to snatch full rights. Here, where did I have that at? Yeah. Well, as far as the powers go, UN Summit of the Future will set a new stage for the new global order in 2024. A research director at the Heartland said New York Times bestselling author Independent Day unleashed a warning to Americans that they may soon be losing their independence. Hey, Justin Haskins has written the Federalist about a series of proposals to be considered at the United Nations next year, only weeks before the 24 presidential election. One especially have, and you know what? Something in the spirit just telling me we're not going to get to no 2024 election, man. I just don't see it happening. But the sooner the better we get the hell up out of here, man. But I just don't see it happening. One especially has grabbed his attention to one regarding emergencies. A proposal might be the biggest attempt to power grab in the history of the United Nations. If approved, the United States as we know it could cease to exist, he wrote. It is at the UN. It is at the summit of the future being planned by the international bureaucrats who make up the UN that member nations are expected to adopt a pact for the future. The agreement will solidify numerous policies reforms offered by the UN in its agendas, he said. Although there are numerous radical proposals included in this agenda, perhaps none are more important than the UN plan for new emergency platforms, a stunning proposal to give the UN significant powers in the event of a future global shocks, such as another worldwide pandemic, he explained. And for example, like what is called a black swan event, which you don't necessarily have to use a black swan event as far as natural disasters, but something economically, okay, something that's predictable, something that's predictable, and catastrophic, and not just predictable and catastrophic, something that's it's being predicted. They've been saying it's going to happen, and those black swan events, they're behind the scenes, not and planning it to happen. For example, like the collapse of 2008, where the whole economic system went in a massive shock. Okay, so the black swan event, which is going to be linked to something financially that's going to shock this world, man, and it's going to happen. Do a research on what the black swan event is. All right, which is another word you can probably use for false flag. And some major false flag attack is coming, not just here in Babylon, but in other parts of the world where, especially concerning World War III. So it says, such as in another worldwide pandemic, he explained, which that's coming. Known details of the scheme, he said, include a plan for standing authority for the UN to convene and operationalize automatically an emergency platform. Uh, you know, um, what they call martial law. Martial law is going to be declared. We're just waiting for these things to happen, and we already know through the Spirit that the worst is going to happen. Period. You know, and we can pretty much give you an ideal on how it's going to play out. Again, Black Swan event, false flags, probably happen simultaneously. With the people in the uproar and rioting and losing their goddamn minds, a massive famine coming in. All these things Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai got planned for this place to actually spring on this place at one time. Once triggered, the emergency platform would give the UN the ability to actively promote and drive an international response that places the principles of equity and solidarity at the center of its work. The UN would bring together the stakeholders of the world, including academic governments, private sector actors, and international financial institutions, to ensure there is a unified global response to the crisis, he explained. So, with this type of talk, man, something's coming. Ain't no America making America great. America would never ever be or ever recover to its former self, even going back to 2010, 2015. It'll never go back to those periods, especially the 2000 or 1995. It's never going to go back to those times again. It's never going to go back. Never. This shit is just going to gradually get worse and worse as time goes on and on. The devil, again, this devil's planning it, man. Here, let me see if I can find what I was, here, it's right here. Why do I even do that? Let me go see if I have it under my bookmarks. I thought I did. No. Oh, there we go. This is one, but this is not the one I'm referring to. I'm referring to one. Biden. It's the one that's with Biden. Working on forming the UN signed strategic partnership agreement. Again, just the whole ultimate goal is to bring in the 2030 agenda. Do your research on that, the 2030 agenda, which is, was the best I can put it is just depopulation control, man. It's just the plan that we've always known about. Using the Georgia Guidestones as an example, we've always known about their plan of depopulation. Now it's just in another name, the 2030 agenda. They're going into that, they're kicking into another gear of deceit, man. Deception. Under the disguise of what? The UN partnership was signed in a meeting held in the United Nations between the UN Secretary, whatever clause, agenda for sustainable development. The partnership identifies 6 areas of focus: financing the 2030 agenda, climate change, health, digital cooperation, gender equality, empowerment of women, education. See, this is all deceit. This is all a trick. Educated, let us deal wisely. Education and skills, like they really give a damn. To strengthen and broaden their combined impact by building on existing and new collaborations. The full partnership framework can be found here. Okay, so again, he's picking he's picking it. He's going into another gear, man, of deception, and the people fall for it. These stupid ass Edomites, man, talking about rising up. If they come after the guns, man, you know how stupid they sound? If they come after the guns. But that's when they're gonna rise up and fight, when they finally come after the guns. You mean to tell me this devil hasn't given you goddamn idiots, you fools, you stupid ass Americans no reason to rise up and fight yet? With them forcing trannies down your children's throats, while they're hitting you with hyperinflations and extra taxes and again with them uh, um, bringing in a famine, burning down these food processing centers and distribution centers and train wrecks. I mean, you people ain't got the goddamn sense enough to rise up yet. I mean, you're always talking about bearing your arms. And what's going to happen? These people are going to fight, but they're going to fight. The Most High is going to force them to fight. Because they're just all talk. The Most High is going to force these devils to fight, man, against each other, against the powers. He's going to force them to fight, and that's scriptural. That's scriptural here. I thought I'm opening up plenty of these. It's going to force them to fight. Against the Egyptians. So I know it's in Isaiah. Let me just scroll down to Isaiah. Egyptians. I'll be in the shower in a minute, get some water on me, drink a bunch of water, and fight this headache that's trying to come again. These migraines, man. Here we go. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, America. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Yeah. And I will set the Americans against the great Americans. And they shall fight every one against his brother. And they say that when they talk to each other, when they greet each other, they pronounce every vowel, brother. As Israelites, we like brother. Or we like brother. What's up, brother? They like brother. And I will set, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So behind the scenes, this devil is actually causing this to happen. He wants this to happen. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts. So I'm about to close this. Because this is ultimately what's going down, man. This is ultimately what's going down. And you know what? Here, let me get it here. Matthew's the 24th chapter. I may be reaching a little bit, but let me grab this here anyway. Because this is what I see reading it. So what I see, that period of great deception, man. Okay, and many false prophets shall rise and deceive many, and because iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. This is what's going to be taking place. Okay. Here we go. To them, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let them which is on the housetops not come down to take anything out of the houses. This is what I was reading, that Isaiah. What is that again? Isaiah what? 19? That Isaiah 19 is going to be in full effect. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And I love to explain, like I explained it to the old brother yesterday out there on the streets about the times that is coming. He said, don't say that. No, I hope that don't happen. Speaking of the prophecies. I mean, these people literally don't understand what his Lord, the Yahweh Shem Yahweh's intentions, man. So they really hope it doesn't happen, you know? The destruction of this kingdom and bringing in the kingdom of heaven. They really hope it don't happen. That they call themselves understanding the scriptures in the Bible. People are it says this, and except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Then if any, so let me find, for there shall be arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible they shall deceive the very elect. Okay, Dylan the subtle again. There we go, you know. There's Dylan in secret again. You know, Dylan, being slick. You know, again, being slick. Rising a false prophets, because they set these people up, for there shall rise a false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, so deceive the very elect. Behold, I told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. So that's going to be a period of great deception going on, that a whole lot of the masses of people are going to fall on this 24 and 26. Something's going to be going down where people are going to look for peace and safety, man. Well, we're telling you not to be listening to these goddamn devils, because once you line up in that line thinking you finally made it to peace and safety, that they're going to be telling you to give me your right hand. Poke. There you go. Gotcha. You know. So you can go into this more and more. It's all over the news. But maybe I'll come back with you with the one, like I said, speaking with as far as the UN and Joe Biden is concerned. With Joe Biden is about to sign over these powers, I think through an executive order to the UN. So things about to happen, and actually things is happening quick and fast, man. Things is going down. So I have to give all thanks and power to our power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and double honors to our apostles of Great Millstone, and okay, and the elders of GMS. Okay, till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.